Call of Duty 2023 is officially happening, and today we have updated details from Activision on what this year's game is going to be. And there is a lot of confusion surrounding this year's game because rumors are suggesting this year will not be a full-fledged game like we've gotten every year, and reportedly will be a premium expansion to Modern Warfare 2. But today Activision had their quarterly financial call where they mentioned across the Call of Duty franchise, our teams are working to amplify the success of the fourth quarter with 2023 plans including even more engaging live services across platforms and the next full annual premium release in the Blockbuster series. Now that wording does not sound like this is going to be an expansion pack, as they call it the next full annual premium release, describing it like they do for every other COD game coming out every year. Now this instantly confuses people because we know that Treyarch are the next in line to release a full-fledged Call of Duty game, but this wording from Activision makes it sound like that game is coming this year, when so many sources like Charlie Intel, Modern Warzone, and Jason Schreier from Bloomberg all say that that game is coming next year. And with Treyarch recently opening 2 new studios in the US as well as hiring for a ton of very important roles, it doesn't seem like that game is at all ready to release this year. So what exactly is Call of Duty 2023? Well, reports from Charlie Intel, Modern Warzone, and again Jason Schreier from Bloomberg all report that this year's game is going to be an expansion for Modern Warfare 2. Not just any old expansion, a full premium expansion. Now reports about this sprouted on the internet at the start of November, so this isn't exactly new news, but the most interesting part is that Activision is still calling this a full annual premium release, which not only confuses the reports that are going, but also makes it sound like this is going to be a lot bigger than just an expansion pack. If we look at what Jason Schreier from Bloomberg said back in November about this, where he has one of the cleanest, credible track records in all video game news since it began on the internet. He is very rarely ever wrong. He said that the next game by Treyarch is coming out in 2024, and next year, as in this year, there will be a Modern Warfare 2 premium brackets paid expansion by Sledgehammer Games. It's supposed to have lots of content. Maybe that's why they call it a full release, but it's more Modern Warfare 2. In response to Activision's wording today, he said to Charlie Intel, it's not unfeasible to add content to something that started off as an expansion and sell it for $60 to $70. Either way, the point is that it's a continuation of Modern Warfare 2. Anyway, see you again at the May earnings call. Pretty much just boasting that he was correct back in November, he's correct now, and he is very confident he'll be correct again in May. So what are the rumors so far about what this expansion will include? Well, the rumors are that this is going to have a full-fledged campaign continuing on the campaign from the end of Modern Warfare 2, and also continuing on for whatever happens throughout the seasons that we're getting this year in Modern Warfare. It even backs us up in a reply from the 7th of November specifying that campaign. But to also clear up confusion, someone asked if you need to own the original Modern Warfare 2 to play this expansion, and he says he's not actually sure if you'll have to own the 2022 game, which gives a bit more credit to the idea that this is not just going to be an expansion, but it's going to be its own full-fledged game. Not only is it rumored to have a campaign, but there's also been a ton of rumors of year 2 for Modern Warfare 2 being a celebration of the original Modern Warfare 2 by remastering all of the maps from that game, putting it into the new Modern Warfare 2. Now, to me, that sounds like the equivalent of Zombies Chronicles coming to Modern Warfare 2, but by the sounds of it, it's not just a simple remastered map pack, but it's going to be a massive load of maps, potentially even more content than what Zombie Chronicles had, probably times it by 2 or times 3 for the multiplayer, then also add in a campaign. Then the description of this being a full premium release, it does sound like it's going to be its own full-fledged game that acts as an expansion to the Modern Warfare 2 universe and storyline. So we could expect to have a full suite of new multiplayer weapons to use, as well as new and returning maps. The more that Activision reveal that this is a full premium release, the more conversation there is about this being its own full-fledged game just built on the backbones of Modern Warfare 2. It's also really interesting because I saw a reply by Harry Got Taken on Twitter to Charlie Intel saying, doesn't Activision's wording of full annual premium release mean the same thing as a full annual premium title? They're usually very picky with their wording, and he has a point. Normally they'd use the word premium title, not premium release, which adds a little bit more validity to the fact that this isn't your usual Call of Duty release this year. And Charlie Intel's response was, whenever it gets announced, it will make sense. I ain't explaining more than this for now. Whilst Charlie Intel can't really say what's going on, clearly it's something very unusual to the typical yearly Call of Duty release, because otherwise, we just know in plain black and white exactly what it is. But the rumors are that Sledgehammer Games is going to be the ones forefronting this premium expansion game, which is definitely very interesting. They've had two games that weren't that well received amongst the Call of Duty community and have been sort of downgraded now to a support studio, but they're still the main developers leading on it. But according to Activision's wording, they say across the Call of Duty franchise, the teams are working to amplify the success, which sounds like it could be all hands on deck from all studios, helping Sledgehammer Games to create whatever this is in time for that end of 2023 release. And whilst we've said for many, many years that there's some points where Call of Duty really just needs to take a year off, just a year break, this seems to be the closest that it is getting to that. But Activision are a business at the end of the day, and they will never not release a Call of Duty game every year because they just simply bring in too much money. And I think the idea of, as well, of them just releasing the expansion might have been what their original plans are, but when they see how well the games sell every year, selling it just as an expansion probably is not quite as appealing to the Call of Duty audience as a full-fledged new game is. But similarly to what Jason Schreier said in his tweets, there is a chance that this could have started off as an expansion and then just got so much bigger that it was clearly not just an expansion anymore, and that there's so much content involved in it that it can't be sold as an expansion for $60-70 because it's pretty much the same amount of content as what you'd get from a full-fledged Call of Duty game. It's just not its own separate entry in the Call of Duty series. It's just Modern Warfare 2, which is all sorts of confusing. And this is so confusing because all the way back in February of last year, Bloomberg reported that Call of Duty would be skipping its annual entry in 2023. Activision responded to say that it had multiple Call of Duty experiences in development. When Bloomberg posted the rumor of an expansion coming as the main release for this year, Activision indirectly responded in its financial report saying that COD 2023 would be a full premium release, which is the same wording as what we got today. I just find this whole situation extremely intriguing because it's the first time that there's been such a mystery over what exactly Call of Duty are doing for a year. We've pretty much known every year, sometimes really early into the start of a new year, what that upcoming game is going to look like, who's developing it, and all sorts like that. If this is all true and we are going to be getting a full-fledged Modern Warfare 2 2.5 that has its own campaign and a massive array of multiplayer maps and brand new weapons, and it's all handled and developed by Sledgehammer Games, that's going to be extremely interesting. Never in the history of Call of Duty have we seen such a momentous expansion added where a whole different studio is going to be handling all the updates and the content drops for that game when they originally didn't create that game. It is absolutely wild. But also when you think about COD HQ and how they want to make that a fully integrated experience into every Call of Duty game and experiencing COD going forwards, we could easily see this just added as one of the boxes in the main menu when you boot up Modern Warfare 2. And if you want to play and enter that content, you simply just buy it and it will be added there as a new game. And I reckon that's how Call of Duty is going to be in the future, where we do have this weird sort of like Hulu menu. You're basically picking, like Netflix or Hulu, what game you want to play, like as if it's a movie that you want to watch. There are just so many questions to this, and we just won't really get a clear answer from Activision for a little while still. But this does not mean that Treyarch are going to be jumping in to save the day and releasing their game this year. I don't think that's the case. They're still on for next year, and I'm really happy that they're getting all the development time in order to make Black Ops Cold War 2, or whatever it ends up being, a absolute banger. If you've made it to the end, you're an absolute legend. Let me know your thoughts about this news in the comments below, and if you're excited by the prospect of us potentially getting a massive expansion to Modern Warfare 2 so big that it's its own game with all this remastered content, then drop a thumbs up.